At our office Christmas party, my friend-turned-rival pulled me on stage and slurred into the mic, "Here's to the girl who works so hard just to stay invisible." The crowd roared as she threw a Santa hat at my face. I laughed, took a bow, and Monday morning, I revealed my new job offer to the entire department. Right before she got passed over for the promotion she thought she had in the bag. I've worked in corporate HR in St. Louis for almost 8 years now. I don't like to talk about myself much, but I'll say this, I'm damn good at my job. I don't play games. I'm the one who quietly keeps things from falling apart behind the scenes. The one who fixes problems before the higher-ups even realize there was a problem. People trust me, but they don't talk about me much. That's fine by me. I was okay being in the background. Until Danielle made it personal. Danielle joined our HR department about 3 years ago. At first, I thought we might actually be friends. She was loud, fun, always had something sarcastic to say. She talked fast, joked a lot, made everyone feel included. She reminded me of my cousin from Chicago, the kind who always drags you out for drinks and then leaves you with the tab. We got lunch a few times that first year. She told me about her ex, about her debt, about how she felt stuck in HR but didn't know where else to go. I listened. I felt for her. I even helped her rewrite her resume once. Then little things started happening. She'd take credit for things I said in meetings. I'd make a suggestion during a team call, and 2 days later, she'd send the same idea to our director like it was hers. I let it go. I figured maybe she didn't realize she was doing it. But it kept happening. I spent 3 weeks reworking our new hire training process. She walked into the meeting where I was supposed to present and handed out her own updated version. Said she just wanted to help. Mine never got used. Then, she started making little digs in front of people. Once at lunch she said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Well, if you want quiet and boring, you should go sit with her." She pointed at me with her fork. Everyone laughed. I didn't. Still, I stayed calm. I worked. I kept things moving. My boss noticed, even if Danielle didn't. This fall, I found out I was being quietly considered for a promotion, senior HR specialist. Big deal in our world. It meant more money, more say in decisions, more visibility. I didn't tell anyone. Especially not Danielle. But I should have guessed she already knew. She started acting like she owned the place. Volunteering for every little committee. Talking over people in meetings. Staying late and making sure everyone saw her do it. She brought in donuts twice in 1 week. She was gunning for it hard. I kept my mouth shut. I let her run around doing her show. I did my work, made my numbers, helped 2 departments avoid layoffs, and rewrote a policy that saved the company over $40,000. Quietly. Behind the scenes. Like always. Then came the Christmas party. We held it in a rented conference room downtown. Fancy lights, overpriced finger food, and an open bar. Everyone dressed up, even the interns. I wore a black dress, nothing flashy. Danielle showed up in a shiny green dress and red heels like she was auditioning for a music video. By 9 p.m., most people were tipsy. Danielle had been drinking wine all night. At around 9:30, someone handed her the mic. I don't know if she asked for it or if it was part of the plan, but what happened next changed everything. She got on stage. She smiled, all teeth and lipstick, and said something like, okay, real quick, before we all black out, let's raise a glass." Everyone laughed. She looked around, scanning the crowd, and then her eyes locked on mine. "Here's to the girl who works so hard, just to stay invisible." The room went quiet for a second. Then people laughed. Not everyone. Some looked at me, confused. Some just stared at their drinks. But enough people laughed that I felt that wave of heat in my face. And then, she threw a Santa hat at me. Just tossed it like a rag. It hit me in the chest and fell to the floor. I picked it up. Slowly. Put it on. Then I stood up, faced the crowd, and gave the deepest, most dramatic bow I could. People clapped. Some cheered. Danielle gave a fake little smile like she was just kidding. I smiled too. But it was a different kind of smile. Because in that moment, I made my choice. I wasn't going to stay invisible. That weekend, I didn't stew. I didn't cry. I got organized. I pulled up the offer letter I'd been sitting on for weeks. A startup in Chicago had been after me since October. They wanted someone with my background in compliance and onboarding, someone who could build their HR team from the ground up. They offered me a title even higher than what our company was dragging its feet about, and a raise big enough to make moving worth it. I'd been torn. I wasn't sure if I wanted to start over in a new city, leave my mom behind, change everything. But after Friday night, the decision felt clean. Danielle had made it easy. Monday morning, I wore the same navy blazer I wore to my interview. Walked in early. Made coffee. Printed out the offer letter and left it on my desk, open where anyone walking by could see the company's logo. Petty? Maybe. But I was done playing nice. At 9 a.m. sharp, I sent the team-wide email, subject, "My next chapter. Hi everyone, I wanted to share that I've accepted a new opportunity and will be moving on in January. I'm so grateful for the years I've spent here and for all the relationships I've built. I'll be around for the next few weeks to help with the transition." See 10 minutes later, I heard my name being whispered around the office. By 9:30, Danielle strutted past my desk. She didn't say anything. Just gave me a tight, smug little smirk, like she'd just won something. At 10 o'clock, the HR director called an all-hands meeting for our department. We filed into the glass conference room. I sat across from Danielle, who looked like she was already picturing herself with the new title. The director cleared her throat. "I know we're all surprised by the news this morning. We're going to miss Cassandra. But we've been preparing for leadership changes, and I want to share our decision." Danielle sat up straighter. "We've offered the senior HR specialist role to Jennifer Reynolds." The room went quiet. Jennifer. The quiet one, barely 5 feet tall, who worked hard but never said much, blinked, stunned. Danielle looked like someone had pulled the floor out from under her. She turned toward me, her mouth a thin line. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just looked at her. After the meeting, she stormed into the hallway. I knew she'd come to me. I was ready. She marched into my office like she owned it. Didn't knock. Didn't ask. "You knew," she said. Her voice wasn't loud. But it shook. "I had a feeling," I replied. "You could have told me. You could have warned me." I blinked at her. "You humiliated me in front of 200 people. Threw a hat at me. Called me invisible. And now I'm supposed to give you inside information?" She didn't say anything. I stood up. Took the Santa hat out of my bottom drawer, the same one she threw at me. Tossed it gently toward her. "You can have this back." She caught it. Her hands shook. "That's what this is about," she snapped. "A stupid party joke?" I looked her dead in the eyes. "No. This is about respect. You made it clear I don't deserve yours. I just showed you what that feels like." She didn't come back to work the next day. Or the next. HR said she called in sick. I didn't ask. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Because by Friday, I heard something, a whisper in the break room that made my stomach drop. Danielle wasn't just embarrassed. She was angry. And she was planning something. Something I never saw coming. By Friday afternoon, I started hearing things. It began with a casual chat in the break room. A coworker, Tara, lowered her voice and said, "Hey, I heard Danielle's talking to legal." "Something about retaliation?" I froze. What? I asked, trying to stay calm. She's saying you leaked internal info. That you used your position to block her from the promotion. Tara looked uncomfortable. I don't think anyone believes her, but, just be careful. I nodded, smiled like it didn't matter, then went straight back to my desk. Inside, I was boiling. Danielle had crossed a line. It wasn't just office drama anymore. She was trying to ruin my name. I called my contact in legal. Chris, a guy I'd worked with on several investigations. I kept it short and professional. Just asked if anything had been filed under my name. He hesitated. Off the record, he said. Yes. There's a concern on file. Not an official complaint. Not yet. But she came in, asked questions. Said there was possible favoritism in how decisions were made. I leaned back in my chair. My fingers were cold. Chris went on, she's trying to stir up something before you leave. Maybe hoping it delays your exit. Or creates a paper trail in case she sues later. I thanked him. Hung up. Sat there, staring at my computer screen. This woman wasn't just petty. She was dangerous. The next few days were tense. People were whispering more. HR was quiet. Too quiet. I kept doing my job, training Jennifer, finalizing files. But in every meeting, I felt eyes on me. Watching. Then Tuesday came. I got called into the director's office. The VP was there too. They looked serious. We received a complaint, Cassandra, the VP said. Danielle has alleged that you influenced the promotion process and disclosed confidential information about her performance history. I almost laughed. But I didn't. I didn't have access to her evaluations, I said, calmly. And I didn't sit on the final decision panel. You know that. The director nodded. We know. But she's pushing hard. She's claiming you hinted to others that she wouldn't get the role. Did I? I asked. No, she said. We checked with the others. No one backs her story. Still, they said they had to investigate. Standard procedure. It didn't matter that I had 2 weeks left. Danielle was trying to poison the well on my way out. I went back to my desk, locked the door, and pulled out the folder I hadn't touched since September. My insurance policy. It had emails. Notes. Messages Danielle sent that were just casual enough to seem harmless, until you read them all together. Comments about other coworkers. Lazy remarks. Complaints about our boss. One message even joked, "You think I'd let Cassandra beat me to a promotion? Please. She's a ghost in this office." I also had copies of her time logs. Discrepancies. Days she logged hours when she wasn't even in the building. Once for a full Saturday. I took the whole packet and quietly handed it to Chris in legal. Didn't say a word, just passed it across the table and said, if I'm being questioned, they need to see this too. 2 days later, I got another meeting. This time, the director and VP were both smiling. Thank you for your professionalism, Cassandra, the VP said. We've concluded the review. There's no evidence of any wrongdoing on your part. In fact, she paused, glancing at the director, some of what you provided raised concerns on our end. We'll be handling it internally. I didn't ask what that meant. I didn't have to. That afternoon, Danielle's badge stopped working. Danielle didn't come back the next day. Or the day after that. No email, no goodbye, no explanation. Her desk sat untouched for a week. Then one morning, facilities rolled by with a box and quietly cleared her stuff out. People noticed, but no one asked. I later heard she was asked to resign. That's corporate speak for, get out before we fire you. Apparently, the time log discrepancies I flagged were just the beginning. There were old complaints, inappropriate comments she'd made to junior staff, even one employee she told not to bother applying for a promotion because they weren't a culture fit. She thought she was untouchable. She wasn't. But here's the thing I didn't expect, it didn't feel good. Not really. I thought when she fell, I'd feel something like justice. But all I felt was tired. I kept showing up those last 2 weeks, did my work, trained Jennifer, smiled politely through awkward lunches. People tiptoed around me, like they didn't know if they should say congrats or sorry. I packed up my things on a Thursday. My closest coworker, Jill, hugged me at the elevator. "You didn't deserve what she did," she said. "But you handled it better than I would've." I nodded. I appreciated that. But I still felt hollow. When I got to Chicago, I didn't unpack for 3 days. Just sat in the new apartment, boxes around me, thinking about everything that happened. That's when I realized something I didn't want to admit. I had changed. I wasn't just the quiet girl doing her job anymore. Somewhere along the way, I started playing the game too. I collected ammo. I struck back. I won. But it came at a cost. I used to judge people like Danielle. Thought they were fake, dramatic, selfish. But I wasn't innocent. I held grudges. I waited for her to slip. I fed that moment, the one where I took her power away, like it would fix something inside me. It didn't. But still, I'd do it again. Because people like Danielle don't stop until someone makes them. And if that someone had to be me, then so be it. Now I'm in Chicago. New job. New city. Starting over. But I keep that Santa hat in a drawer. Not as a trophy. As a reminder of who I became, and what it cost to stop being invisible.